All right, start of the character. As you can see, character select screen, Elf Conjurer, because I heard that they get mana regen now. Your magical reserves regenerate quickly. Oh boy, and the first thing we see is a goblin with a super scary dagger. But fortunately, gets one shot. How much damage does this thing do? 1 dice of 7. Hmm. That could be a problem. Too many enemies. I do have the magic of being a deep elf, but I didn't learn Searing Ray. Searing Ray would be great right now. Okay, we survive, and that means we get Searing Ray. Ooh, and an Amulet of Mana Regen. That is a lot of mana regen that we got. And a Ring of Wizardry and an Orb of Energy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think we have a run. Yeah, we're trying new deep-elf. Oh boy, and I found a book with Fritch and Toxic Radiance. And Discord, I guess, is a thing that exists as well, but not a thing that I'm particularly interested in. We have a run in our hands. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, it's almost guaranteed that this is gonna be fun thanks to the things that I have obtained. I have double mana regen from the mutation and from the amulet, and I don't know if I should have double mana regen. Yeah, maybe I should put on the normal regen, but no, you know what? I'm not going to because another orb of energy. I wish I could dual wield those. As I was saying, I'm not going to because I have such low HP that like I shouldn't be getting hit repeatedly by things anyway. If that happens, I'm probably gonna die. And we are gonna need like 7 of these. And we also have Fridge, but I don't really want to go for Fridge until I get, more spells to justify that. Um, a little bit spooky. Got hit for 4 damage by a halberd. That was definitely playing it too close, potentially ruining something beautiful. I didn't see that the one that was there was the one with the halberd. I think I might beat them. Legit, I might beat them. Hmm. Okay, and it gets attacks of opportunity now, right? So I don't think I beat it. Yeah, but I was flying too close to the sun. Yeah, it is obviously a bolt. I fought a whole null band before this guy. Yeah, perhaps the correct thing to do here was to not fight at all. I think I'm dead. I don't really see how to survive this situation because attacks of opportunity. Before attacks of opportunity worked on polearm guys, I could just walk away from this. Now I can't. Alright, so yeah, I guess I waste a run that would have been pretty fun. I wanted haste, because haste is the only way to save me. Oh, that also works. Gotta learn Mystic Blast. Being able to walk away from nulls before 0.21 was pretty silly. I don't think so. I think that, like, to begin with, the null needed to have a polearm, and that already is an advantage that the null has compared to most other monsters. It's okay that that a monster that has an advantage also has a disadvantage, like a weakness that you can, make use of to not die horribly. But I guess that crawl developers don't really agree with that. You know what? Maybe I should just leave because of the null sergeant. Play it safe. Another amulet of region. Gotta be very careful with that with that priest. Mystic Blast is at 16%. Yeah, we're not gonna be casting that anytime soon. Yep. The funny thing about that is that it wasn't even like a max damage roll. It was a pretty mid damage roll, and it still dealt an ouch that really hurt. Okay, that orc might kill me. I was trying to get back to the stairs. Yep. Okay, I don't think I lived through this without. Yeah, that will kill me. That will kill me too. Can't read stuff while. Yeah, sure. Terrible. Okay, that was not meant to be. Blink on D1. But we're not gonna find mana regen and Norb again. Like, that's not gonna happen. You found out that Toho is actually way more generous with bombs than when you realize whenever you lose a lot, your bomb counter gets reset. So you just make sure that you use up all of your bombs before you get hit. You'll get more than enough bombs for the entire game. Yes, yes. That's exactly how it works. Also, certain Toho games have a mechanic that can function as a bomb. I think Perfect Cherry Blossom has a thing where you have like an automatic bomb after like you fulfill certain conditions, but I don't know. I don't remember. It's been way too long since I've played that. Yeah, if you see an orc priest with a deep elf, you just leave. You don't fight it ever. And I was trying to leave, but I mean, Smite is very fun according to crawl developers. Um, I don't think that Deep Elf is bad, but I do think that Deep Elf is it's pretty rough with how brutal the early game is nowadays. It is extremely punishing, like many situations that I was in that very brief game, where situations were like there was nothing that I could do but use a consumable that I didn't know I had or didn't have. And that's just lame. I think it's supremely lame. Okay, I'm just getting hit by attacks of opportunity from Terran, so we find Tele, luckily, first try, so we're gonna leave the level. I cannot kill that. Too much armor class. Well, this time the game seems a little bit more reasonable than before. No D2 no sergeant and no D3 orc priests. Unfortunately, no amulet of mana regen, so I am running out of mana. In EOSD, the closest thing to a bomb alternative is when you hit max power, all bullets on the screen get deleted. That's hard to make a real use of. It does sound pretty hard to time. Okay, as long as it's no priests, we're fine. Oh, look at that, a priest. Am I going to die to the priest again? Because do not be fooled. Last time I died directly to the priest. Yeah, the priest was the thing that dealt the bulk of the damage there in the last attempt. This time I didn't really feel like running away because last time I tried running away and it didn't work, so I just fought it and I got lucky enough that it didn't smite me 2 times in a row. It did smite me once. Um, how is... I didn't learn Mystic Blast, let me learn it. I don't want to fight that Ice Beast. Um, yeah, Ring Mail of Cold Resistance. But it's way too heavy. We cannot make use of it. Oh, wow. Instant confusion and an ogre. I might be dead. Okay, I find Gearing. Now don't just lock into killing me, because if you do, I'm not gonna be playing anymore. Okay, it didn't. I might be dead anyway. I don't really know how to survive this situation. Especially if you run into a dead end. Imagine early melee. I'm not sure that can even happen. But yeah, like that has the potential not to kill only like a low HP character like a deep elf. It has potential to kill everything. Melee's are pretty ridiculous enemies. They have a lot of weaknesses, but their strengths more than make up for their weaknesses. If you don't actively use those weaknesses, you're gonna die to a melee. Delightful. So the priest wakes up anyway. At least it's at the edge of the screen, so I might be able to get to the stairs. Do I even want to go down these stairs? Oh, the answer is no. When you first ran into my AI pack, they were destroying you, but they're rarely a problem now for some reason. Are you hexing them? Because that's like their weaknesses are pretty much the same weaknesses as bees. Low willpower, low HP, almost no armor class. Um, but their strengths are like the strengths of bees, but turned up to 11. Way too fast, lots of attacks, very damaging. And for bees, you can kind of trivialize them with poison resistance and armor class. For melee, since they have smite and they're so fast, they can just smite you a bit too many times too quickly. And yeah, there's no compensating for that with any amount of armor class. Of course, instantly my HP is halved because orc priests are fun. Okay, got lucky again with the stack of teles, but we're out of teles now, so I'm probably gonna die. Um, Probably should learn Fulminant Prism. But the thing is that it feels so bad to be like struggling so early in the game. It feels really, really bad that it's so early and I am like, oh, I need to train more and get this skill because I'm not killing things. Because things are just out damaging me, and they're like, there's nothing that you can do about that. Zero. This really just is reminding me about why I just stopped playing Deep Elf, even though I really like Deep Elf. Funny thing is that the things that have killed me have always been in the game, like Orc Priestess Might pretty much. I guess randomized energy. Oh come on, really? Okay. I guess I have to fight it. You just hit, or shoot them, whatever your character is doing to everything else. That's pretty lucky. That like they're not killing you if you're not treating them with respect. If you're doing the same thing that you do to every other enemy to melee, like if I tried that, I would die. I know that for sure. Especially if they come in a band. If it's only one, maybe you can get away with doing that. But often they're like in bands. I have Blink. I already learned it. Yeah, very good spell. Should keep it in mind since it's so powerful. Blink and Mystic Blast just push things away or be away from things in general. I should really not be in this level anymore. I think that we just leave. After all, this level has Sigmund and it also has that null band. Sigmund does have willpower, and I kind of want that willpower. But I don't know if I can deal with Sigmund with this HP. I don't have the damage output yet. I'll come back in a bit. Talking about not having the damage output. Killing that center is going to be very hard, so I shouldn't go down those stairs. Not great so far. Early levels have been pretty rough, though perhaps not as rough as D2, Null Sergeant, D3, Orc Priest's might. No, I don't think that there's anything that we can do against this centaur. I don't have the range. And I guess I have Searing Ray, but I don't think I kill it before it kills me if I just Searing Ray it. I'm gonna try. Alright. Did I get lucky there? I feel like I did get lucky. I only got hit once? Twice? Yeah, there were 3 misses there. That is not the average experience when dealing with a centaur. Especially if you cannot disable its weapon. And like running towards it with 36 HP, yeah, I kind of don't feel like that would be a good idea. This is an open level. I am very tempted to just dive it, but it's D6 and I have not found a temple. So I would like to, but I don't think I can afford to do it. Centaurs don't seem that bad when you're at point blank range. They kick quickly instead of shooting. Yes, they do significantly less damage with their melee compared to using their bow. So just a small saving grace that the developers throw to early game characters, which for that reason, like there's already precedent of techniques that the players can do that make it so that certain monsters are weaker than they would otherwise appear to be. So I don't know why polearm monsters get attacks of opportunity now. It's a pretty bad decision in my opinion. Why am I doing this? Ashensari. Should I? Nah, I feel like I want Behemoth. Good old Behemoth, Deep Elf. As I suspected, D6 had the temple, and it also had an altar of Behemoth. So now we are a worshipper of Behemoth. Yeah, I suspected that I had already woken up that guy. That's a lot of gnolls. I might be able to deal with them with Mystic Blast. I might be able to, but it's probably unsafe to do so. Yeah, one of them has a Venom Halberd. I feel like I get hit by that and I get one shot. Mystic Blast is fun on Deep Elf, so much mana to spam it with. In general, casting spells with debuff is super fun because you can actually make use of them. Um, with the whole attacks of opportunity, it was pretty rough, but now that they have mana regen, that might compensate for that. It is quite noticeable, the mana advantage compared to other species. Because other species wouldn't be able to cast more than like one Mystic Blast, and Deep Elf can cast the Mystic Blast and other things, or like the Mystic Blasts and other things. We got Shock, Swiftness, and Earth Strike. Those are some okay spells, especially Swiftness for running away from things. Though I already have Blink, so it may be a little bit redundant. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna keep pumping intelligence. We're already at 28 intelligence, and I don't think we have any intelligence items. No, we have a dexterity item and a ring of protection, which probably has been an underrated but highly impactful item. I have not really noticed. Kiss of Death. I don't think we care about Kiss of Death. That's a lot of hammers, including a +9 hammer embalmer that, funnily enough, I cannot use. Yeah, essentially equivalent to a mace. Most characters would be very happy to find a +9 hammer or mace of flaming. Yeah, and I would like to use it as a ring. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. I would like to use it as a ring if I could wield it. Wow, Scepter of Torment. Man, that item is crazy. It's one of the strongest one-handers in the whole game. Um, and to get it, you just have to kill Crazy Youth. Man, this is insane. This is already almost endgame human caster intelligence. Okay, you have a +1 cloak, so unfortunately for you, I want it. And I'm gonna grab the Scepter of Torment. It's a lot of hammers. I wonder if that bolt is new. Also, I wonder how likely is it for that bolt to place the Scepter of Torment. Surely it's not like a common occurrence. Okay, I'm probably already at the stage where I can go back and kill Sigmund for willpower. Deep Elf have 4 willpower per level up, so that's gonna be really useful. Okay, we got a +2 helmet, so that's even more armor class. And I have more armor class than an average ogre now. Though when it comes to the HP, an ogre probably has around twice as much as I would have at this point, as I have at this point. Mm. It is locked up. Who covered the floor with hammers? Maybe you before locking itself in. Um, where was Sigmund? D3? No, D5. Oh, okay, I don't want to be fighting all of the level at the same time. That could be dangerous. I'm glad that that didn't happen earlier, because earlier it would have been a complete death sentence. Now, it is still dangerous, but it is significantly more manageable. There we go. Sigmund kill. Robo willpower acquired. That's even more armor class. How am I at 15 armor class? I never get this lucky with armor. Found a net, not bad. Deep Elf Knight, yeah, pretty much. Clearly, the game is trying to tell me something with between that and the Scepter of Torment. But the thing is that the Scepter of Torment's damage output would be pitiful because because my strength is just tiny. I have what 4 strength, and not to mention the other hammer. The hammer actually makes me go to negative stat. Does the game warn you if you equip it in any way whatsoever? I guess not. I think it would be nice if it did. Like, do you really want to do that? It would cause your stat to go below 0. In case you don't know, it's not like an instant death, but it does paralyze you immediately when it happens, and then you're perma-slowed until that is fixed, and slowed for a little bit after that. So it is overall a very, very bad thing. You don't want it to happen ever. I'm still choosing to carry the hammer because at the end of the day, 3 pips of fire resistance are 3 pips of fire resistance, so that item is worth considering for later in the game. Maybe I could equip a Ring of Strength, and the Ring of Strength means 3 pips of fire resistance. Um, it would leave me at 5 strength, however. So I was thinking maybe on top of that I could wear like ice scales, but I don't think I would have the strength to be able to do that. All right. That only went well because I'm a deep elf and I have mana regen. Most other mages would have struggled mightily there, whether it is because of the lack of mana or the lack of AoE. I fortunately didn't have those problems today. Been finding a lot of reasonably enchanted weapons, but nothing that I really am interested in using. If it doesn't check the intelligence stat, I don't think that we're gonna be paying a lot of attention to it this game. Talking about that, we got a manual of shields, and I do want to make use of that. Oh, look at that! The boulder beetle just jumped over the lava. Mm. You know what's funny? This thing could one-shot me. Oh no, it can't. It can deal 54, and I have 56. So I guess it cannot one-shot me. I don't think I have much of a way to kill it. Momentum Strike I should pick up since I already have training in those skills. In fact, maybe that spell should be in the Conjurer starting book. What's the Conjurer starting book? Dart, Ray, Mystic Blast, and Fulminant Prism, right? Yeah, Momentum Strike would be a nice addition. In fact, I think Momentum Strike would do very well versus this Boulder Beetle. Um, oh man, this is definitely a problem. I don't think I beat it, and normally I would just read a tele, but I have one, so I feel like if I read a tele, that's gonna be the last one that I see until I die. Um, yeah, that's terrible. No one wants you to do that. Okay, we are not fighting that. This is a lot more reasonable. Lesser Beckoning and Maxwell's Portable Pile Driver. Huh. Very strange spell, but I'm gonna pick it up because it is a new spell, and I am on the school, so I might as well give it a try. It's gonna be on P for Pile Driver. Funny thing about Magic Dart, it cannot miss. It does pitiful damage, probably one of the weakest level 1 spells in terms of damage output, but the cannot miss advantage that it has is kinda massive. It is quite impactful. Okay, Momentum Strike. Momentum Strike. Mercury Vapors. It is bad now. Oh yeah, it is bad now. Its range got completely gutted for some reason. Devs just like to nerf things that are fun to use. Um, so I don't think I want to pick it up. It used to be a spell that I picked up on many characters. Now, since the range is so garbage, I don't really feel like picking it up unless I'm already doing those things, and I'm not doing those things, so no doing that. Um, okay, time to try the new spell. You cannot see anything nearby that you can slingshot. I guess that it needs to collide with something. A weird spell. A lot of bees. Once again, most mages would be terrified. A deep elf is only concerned, not terrified. And to read these scrolls, we found silence. I'm just gonna wait till I can read more identify because I only have one tele. So if I was to use a blinking, that would really, really hurt. And yeah, I don't want this playthrough to hurt, really. So far, so good with these bees. Another thing about Mystic Blast that you may have already noticed, it also doesn't miss like Magic Dart. Ah, that's pretty weird, and definitely not how I expected that to work based on the description. I thought that it was gonna push me away, but it pushes me forward. That's quite something. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie, that is kind of funny. Though very difficult to use, extremely situational, and as is often the case, looks like something that a Chevere's worshipper would really like. Also, yeah, that kills two monsters. That's yet again another attack of opportunity. Like not attack of opportunity, sorry, another positional magic spell. Um, I like positional magic so much. Um, I always say it, but not a lot of changes that crawl depths do are like to my liking, but that one was correct. Like it just widely increased the amount of creativity, versatility of spells. Yeah, now now schools are like distinct. I think that translocations specifically seems to be the school that is about positional magic the most because the spells reposition you or the enemies, or they require you to be in a certain position to begin with to make the most out of them. Um, So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. We got 8 fighting. I got a manual of shields, and I do want to use it, but I don't think I found any shields, worth using. I don't know what to train next. I guess spellcasting while I find something else to train for. I guess that I could get Fulminant Prism. Now it's alchemy. Okay, now it's alchemy. Yeah, I used to not get that so much because it was a hex. But now that it's alchemy and alchemy has actual good spells, unlike hexes, I think that I can get it. Hmm. Well, so welcome back to the team, Fulminant Prism. Have I already learned it? I have not. Let's learn it now. Oh, you know what I should do? I should try Maxwell's Pile Driver on like centers that are next to me. Hmm. Prism is very fun, just mega loud so everything comes for you anytime you use it. Every time your character picks up Enfeeble, you think this could be useful if you find a few other hexes and then you ignore it for the rest of the game. That is the correct thing to do, I feel. Enfeeble, have I told you the story about Enfeeble? I was like, okay, Enfeeble is cool because it is a hex that doesn't check willpower, right? And it still does something, even if the willpower roll fails. Pretty much, that's what I meant. And I was in a life or death situation. I got the full effect, and the monster that I got the full effect on, it still killed me next turn. With a spell of all things, like it was blinded, anti-magicked, and all of those things, and it still killed me with a spell the next turn after I did all of that. That was the moment where I swore off using hexes ever again. Like, yeah, hexes are just there to hurt you. They're not there to help you. They're not your friends. Did I kill the? No, I didn't. Yeah, my initial tankiness is being quite useful for killing certain things that would otherwise be somewhat scary. Blinding monsters as a placebo change your mind. I mean, what is a placebo on a school full of placebos, right? Will it roll into poison if it was? You know what? Like, I guess it's worth finding out. How do we do this? I think it missed me. It leaped away from the poison, but it still died anyway. Rime Blight. Rime Blight was fun. I have not used it, but it read like a funny thing to use. Um, yes, it did read like a funny thing to use. Hexes are a fun concept, but you rarely hear anything very good about them. I would say that's probably because The players that were most vocally in favor of hexes, like Elliptic, seldom interact with the community anymore. But Elliptic was like the pioneer of Spriggan Enchanter. Which, by the way, I do not recommend in any way whatsoever. I like when my spells have like tangible results, and I don't really think that spell does. Okay, we found the Ring of Strength. I guess that I could wield um, the Hammer Embalmer for 3 pips of fire resistance to avoid any, silly accidents. Wow, that Komodo Dragon really was resisting death. Hexes are for species that have plus 15 aptitude on it. The most useless skills are the ones that reach the highest aptitudes. Have you ever noticed about stealth? Stealth and hexes, like there's things with +4 and +5 on those, and that is for a reason. It is because those skills are not that fantastic compared to something like fighting or anything that actually lets you kill things. Um, Technically, you could use hexes and stealth to kill things, but everyone knows that in practice, you're gonna try to stab something that you really need to stab because otherwise you cannot kill it, and it's gonna wake up when you step next to it and it's gonna kill you because attacks of opportunity. Yes, that is what will happen. I still don't know what to train for. I guess that I just keep training spellcasting. Ring of Poison Resistance. That will be useful in time. Why am I on D12? Perhaps I should consider myself grateful that there was no gauntlet or anything here that incentivizes me to stay. I'm just gonna kill these jacks and then leave. Can I do Maxwell's? Yeah, I can. The Discord calls Rime Blight the worst new spell. Really? But I mean, I kind of understand it because it's a necromancy. Necromancy is kind of tainted for being good for so many years, so I guess it's been subconsciously nerfed by the minds of the developers. Um, but it sounds like a cool spell, and I like cool spells. I'm gonna get Toxic Radiance. That will be useful in time. Perhaps the time might be immediately. Not to mention that I also have 9 alchemy, so we can definitely make use of Toxic Radiance. This is shaping up pretty good. Look at that. We're not really doing any elemental conjuration. It's conjurations, translocations, and alchemy right now. You were about to suggest training to Toxic Radiance, but that was a different character. But there it is. Yes, that was a previous character, and you just summoned Toxic Radiance back into the fray. And yeah, like of course, of course. And funnily enough, I don't even need to train for it. I already have it because I trained for Fulminant Prism, which I have yet to cast. You're a good luck charm. Okay, try summoning the Hat of the Alchemist next. That would be quite nice, and I would appreciate it. I don't have. Wait, Gels Gabot. Let me read that. Oh, I think I used this a little bit when I like not so long ago, right? I used this not so long ago, and it was super fun. I used it in SOT and it was great. I should get that. I like how schools can finally get spells that deal damage, because for the longest time, for so many versions, translocations had nothing. Um, it was so awful to play like a warper, and I bet it still is, because I don't suspect that they have any of the fun new things. But like in general, translocations was just like a utility school that you couldn't really use to carry you through the game. Now it can, and I absolutely love that. Um, I would say more schools should be like that, but I think that all schools can do that except for Hexes, but I don't think Hexes is meant to or ever would be like that. So whatever. Fulminant Prism. I think we have gotten to the point in the game where Magic Dart is just not gonna cut it anymore. The time to replace the Quiver for Mystic Blast. Maybe I put maybe I put Fulminant Prism on the Quiver. Yeah, let's go for the combo plays. So what happened there? I pushed the Camelot Dragon into the explosion. Fulminant Prism plus Mystic Blast. Summon the Prism, and then reposition the monsters if needed. You wonder if Deep Elf has the fun mid game. It depends on your spells. With this, it's gonna be um, all offense, no defense, all gas, no breaks. And if we don't get good offense, then it's not gonna be particularly fun. But like we're a worshipper of Behemoth. Behemoth is supposed to be like a guarantee that you're gonna be getting the good stuff. And so far, well, I mean, what have I picked from Behemoth? Momentum Strike and Toxic Radiance. Those two I have picked from Behemoth. It's very early into the game still, so Behemoth will have more than enough time to provide me with the good stuff. Hmm. Not to mention that I don't need to rely on Behemoth to get the good stuff. If I get a spell that like would serve as a way to make the mid game not painful, Behemoth will just turn that on for me. Because Behemoth enhances all the fun spells. Like straight up. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Behemoth enhances all the fun spells. If a spell is fun, Behemoth will make it better for you. Will make it so that you can cast it better. I wish I had Stun Arrow. Stun Arrow would speed up this quite a bit. So if I find it, I am going to learn it and I'm gonna train for it. And it's gonna be good. Okay, I'm fully geared out. I guess that I would like to get better gloves and boots, but I mean it's a bit too much to ask for, considering how benevolent the early game has been for me. Perhaps not as benevolent as last character with the Orb of Energy and the Mana Regen. Yeah, also that character had Reach, and that is like if that character had survived beyond like D3, I would have gotten Reach for this point in the game. Like by this point in the game, I would have already had Reach, and that would have been something else. Um, pretty good. But indeed, Pominon Prism is producing a lot of noise. That is not great. Our book, Freeze, Ramparts, and Hailstorm. That book should not have Hailstorm. Instead of Hailstorm, it should have um, also Kubu's armor. But that would make the book too good, probably. All of these books are not as good as they could be, precisely because the developers don't want them to be as good as they could be. That's a lot of crawl philosophy. Neither you nor the monsters are often as good as you could be. Yep, Deep Elf, because Deep Elf got mana regen added to them. Now they have it passively. Mana regen as a mutation. And I wanted to try that, and so far it's been fun. It does feel quite noticeable. It is quite noticeable of a thing. Okay, now I can cast Gel's Gabot. Um, I should learn it to begin with. Now I want to cast it on something. Okay, that's very funny. It is so funny. I'm enjoying it a good amount. Oh man, this is awesome. I love the changes to translocations. Amazing changes. I wish more things in Crawl were like this because this is so funny. Oh, look at that. We got Crystal Spear. So not quite Stone Arrow. I mean, we could kind of build to spam Crystal Spear. I don't think I should. Yeah, Behemoth is good for this. Behemoth is good, period. If you're casting spells, that is. It's not good for every character. Um, we got Snake. I hope that I hope that Ghost Gobot is enough for the mid game. What a funny spell. I'm liking this way too much. I'm having a real good time today with Crawl, which is a rare occurrence. But I'm definitely having a good time. Oh man, I love magic. Magic in this game is the funniest thing. Hilarious. And I also have um so much mana, like it is no problem to be casting this. You know what? Let's get like 10 dodging or whatever. 33 mana. I mean, Gel's Gabot is not really a spammable spell, but but casting it once or twice would often be too much of a burden on a normal character's mana bar, but Deep Elf has no such problem. What is running out of mana for a Deep Elf of Behemoth? Uh, but a bad dream. I wonder if I can get away with not having any like alternative, like any backup plan. I always say if you're playing a mage, have a backup plan for when you run out of mana. You're gonna need it. I wonder if I can get away with not having one of those. Also, I am feeling like I should put it on the quiver. Can I put it on the quiver? Can I not put it on the quiver? I guess I can put it on the quiver, but I cannot shoot it from the quiver with my macro, unfortunately. Magnavolt. I want to try that. Um, what is Magnavolt? It's Earth Air, right? None of which I'm training, and it's level 7. But it also it guarantees that Crystal Spear would hit. So we definitely have like a build already on our hands. Um, Magnavolt Crystal Spear is probably enough to win the game, like straight up. It sounds crazy because I'm in Lure, but that is probably enough to win the game. And I mean, I should do it. I should do it. Like straight up, I should do it. There's no excuse. It's the new spells, and I'm playing a mage that already got them early enough to, be worth it to train for those. I'm going to do it. You're probably gonna need like 18 for Crystal Spear. We're also gonna need a lot of conjurations, but I can get that later. I would like to get Magnavolt first. This is so funny, even if perhaps unwise to use the way that I have been using it. But I mean, it looks like a spell that will do wonders versus monster bands, and that's a good thing. This is really, really funny. I am enjoying it way, way more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. This spell is amazing. I am like it's so funny because you see the enemies and it's a lot of them and you're like, "Oh, let me just push you into the wall." And that kills them. um I sure hope it doesn't kill me to be moving myself alongside the enemies. What was it last time that I tried using it? I think I only picked it up super late into the game for like SOT. We got Jaras. I'm gonna pick it up because I never use it. But this time we might use it. Do the Oclops not move? I guess I cannot move the Oclops. It's fine. Mm, I don't have to fight it. There are 5, and we found the entrance to Slime and an altar to Jiva, which unfortunately was nerfed to the ground. The altar, I mean, not Jiva. I don't know about Jiva being nerfed or anything. The good hex, yeah, the good hex. There has to be one. One that, by the way, I often don't get because it is just a hex. If it was not a hex, if it was in a different school, I would probably get it more often. Hilarious. Slamming enemies into walls is the villain ability. Yeah, it very much feels like um, I have often said that your character in Crawl is not the good guy because what are you doing when you're playing Crawl? Your character goes into the dungeon and just starts killing things like crazy, kills everything, completely destroys a couple of ecosystems actually, like a lot of them, um, and then walks out of the dungeon after there's nothing else to kill, pretty much. Um, Kind of what happens in a 15 run if you think about it. And yeah, your character is by no means the good guy. I insist. Exterminates entire cultures of elves and orcs too. Yes, absolutely. It's strong bad guy behavior. Okay, this is getting pretty scary. No, it didn't kill. I might be dead. What can we do to not die here? Are you... I guess you're going to get feared. Don't put me to sleep. Okay, we're fine. Your last 15 run was a disaster. Forgot to switch equipment when fighting one of the Hell Lords. I assume that you did survive, but that was like, I mean, doing that kind of thing is often gonna lead to a lot of stress while doing a 15 run, making such a mistake. I wonder if I can cast Ghost Gabot if I cast Momentum Strike first. The answer is yes. So you can move through spells. Yes, you can blink as well. Perhaps the safest spell to try that with instead of Ghost Gavot. You just cannot move on your own. Good to know. I cannot believe that um, translocations is a legit kill dude's skill now. That is actually magical. And it is made in such a creative way. I know I wouldn't have thought about having a spell that reorients gravity in such a way that monsters take damage when they get slammed into the wall, because gravity is reoriented to make them slam into the wall. That's crazy creative. um, I wouldn't have thought about that, probably because I wouldn't have even thought it possible to make something like that. But I guess everything is possible through the magic of coding. Man, people who code really are the perfect intertwining of artisans. I mean, and magicians. They just imagine things and bring them into reality. It's crazy when they're doing something out of passion, that is. You mean grabbing others at distance and slamming them into walls? Magic is the thing every intimidating villain does in a movie. I sense um, influence from Star Wars in that comment. Crawl is programmed in C, right? I think it is C. I'm not sure. Can you cast it while you're not able to move? You cannot redirect your momentum while unable to move, but funnily enough, I can redirect gravity while unable to move. I am destroying Lure 5. Recently, I have played plenty of characters where I have to just not do this the moment that I reach it because it's just too dangerous. But with this character, I'm just ruining everything. For the monsters, that is. I'm ruining everything for the monsters. I think that I should have not that or Fulminant Prism. I should have Mystic Blast on the quiver. Hellhound. I have 3 pips of fire resistance. I am not afraid of these guys today. No, not even afraid of that fire crap. C++, but it could have C in it too. What is the difference? Is C++ like someone was writing C and was like, oh, C is too limiting, and then made C++, and then that happened again, and now we have C++? Is that how it works? Because that's how I imagine it. Um, that's what the naming convention brings to my mind. Object-oriented extension to C. So kind of that, yeah. C++ has a crazy amount of additional features. That's pretty cool. Banishment, 16%. I can guarantee that's not gonna happen by drinking one of these potions of willpower. Or by one-shotting that occultist. That also works. Oh man, that was great. And there's still more enemies to play around with. Just waiting for Gelsgabot to come out of cooldown. Any second now. Man, it's so strong. It's so strong. I am a big fan of this spell. Yeah, it definitely goes into. Oh no! Why did I enter hell? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I can get out. Oh, I can get out. I can get out. I can get out. We're fine. But why did I? Of course, like I mean, I'm kind of strong. Don't misunderstand me. And I'm probably gonna be doing that at some point. But that point is not immediately. Yeah, we're not going to hell just yet. Pew. Yeah, it was not the pandemonium orc, which is what I was thinking of. The pandemonium orc would have killed me. Um, there was no C plus. You don't know why it got two pluses. Two pluses increments a variable. Ah, I see. You're not ready to get punished for emptying the dungeon. Yeah, not yet. Maybe later. Let me find blinking. We have 3 brand weapons, which we're not gonna use. No blinking yet. Let me see what we picked up. We picked up a Ring of Slaying, and yeah, there's a Ring Mail of Fire Resistance too, but I don't think we're using any of those things. Let's do Orc. Orc is probably gonna be funny with Gelsgabot. It's not hitting as many things as I thought it was going to, but it's fine because it's only the first fight. Occasional training shop. We could buy that manual of evocations to have like a panic button for when I never learned Magnabolt. Wow, I was training for it and I didn't learn it. That's crazy. I'm glad that I checked. Yeah, I checked because I thought, what spell is Behemoth offering me right now? Orchid Toxic Radiance is epic. Would be a little bit more epic if I also had Ignite Poison. Unfortunately, we have yet to find that. Gauntlet in Nork too, that is unusual. Fortunately, we do have magic mapping. The gauntlet is right here. Yes, this is the gauntlet. You once found a rand book that had Blink, Toxic Radiance, and Ignite Poison. That's definitely a run winner. Yeah, I would probably win the game with that book. I see Randart armor. Randart hat, Randart gloves, and another Randart hat. I think that I would like to go for the Randart globes. Oh, it's one of those 4-2. So I have to sacrifice the Phantom Mirror, but I would get access to Randart hat and Randart globes. I am interested in that. Let's see what I would have to fight against. That Scav, that could be scary. The arena that I would be landing on is definitely um, not ideal for Gels Gabot. Laughing Skulls should be easy to kill with Gels Gabot. Same goes for those. And those could also get Mystic Blasted away. And the Swarmworms should also not be that much of a problem. Okay, so the thing here is, how am I going to survive the barrage of Death Scavs? Like the Death Scavs, there's more than one, right? That is a problem. Of all the enemies here, the Death Scav is by a mile the most dangerous one. I think there may be only one. If there's only one, this becomes significantly more survivable. Okay, it kind of looks to me like there's only one. You love seeing Apo crabs in gauntlets? You always avoid that scabs? Correct. Absolutely correct. That is the only thing to say. Correct. Because that scabs are deadly. Okay, I was not sure that was going to work as well as it did, but I certainly am glad. How long until I can cast Magna Bolt? Because I'm starting to feel like I want to cast Magna Bolt. That was magnetic shrapnel attaches itself to the spectral death. Yeah, electricity arcs towards the magnetite. Sweet. How much damage does that do? 4 dice of 15. Wait, they have Bolt of Draining? Have they always had that? There we go. Easy kills, at least. No a Ring of Slaying. Ooh, I might still pick it up. Or rather, I'm gonna still pick it up because I might need the 3 strength, unfortunately. But it is quite the lousy hat. Um, Weakness to cold might be something that I can compensate for if I wear ice scales. Ice scales make sense with this +9 hammer. Um, so that's why I am picking it up, not because it's like incredible or anything. It just could be a situational part of my situational build that may or may not happen. And now the globes. Globes are rampaging with 5 intelligence, and they're +2 too, so I think they're worth picking up. Why was I not picking up the Wand of Digging? Why was auto pickup off? Didn't miss anything, right? Nope, didn't miss anything. Okay. +2 hat of yesterday. Okay, time for the Minotaur. This might be the closest that I will come to dying in this run. Yeah, I gotta be very careful with the Minotaur. How are we going to kill it? Magnetize. I wonder if you can get rid of that with Jaras. The answer is no, you can't. Okay, Magna Bolt kills Minotaurs pretty good. Now we know. That is a good thing to be aware of. Okay, the loot was quite lousy. But I mean, we did get one upgrade, which is the +2 globes of 5 intelligence. That's definitely nice. Not gonna complain or anything about that. But I could have gotten so much more. I think we might want to drop the Ring of Fire Resistance. No, we dropped the Ring of Dexterity. Like, I'm not putting that on again. Um, I would like a proper shield, not a tower shield, because I have had that manual of shields for a very long time, and I just haven't really been able to make use of it. How valuable would potions of mind vision be in Crawl? They give you a short buff that gives you vision of every tile and around it in a 3x3 area on the level with a monster on them. Well, they would be weird to implement. They would have to mess with this window, and I don't remember when was the last time that this window was messed with. Like, this has stayed pretty consistent for a very long time. Would they be broken? No, that effect does feel more like a scroll effect. Um, it wouldn't last for very long. Like, it would probably just be a one-turn thing, kind of like Scroll of Revelation. And if it's like that, I don't think it would be particularly strong, or like particularly busted. It would be decent. This spell is great. Every time I cast it, it's fantastic. It's great fun. +2 boots. Right now I have +0 boots, so I'm probably gonna buy them just to have the 2 armor class. But I don't have to do so immediately. Hood is not. Never been a fan of it. But now it lets you stab with any weapon, right? Like, it gives you massive stabs with whatever weapon you want to use. Okay, maybe it is time to summon um, Dark Maul. Last time you had it, you one-shot BB. What did you stab BB with? Sphere of Battle. It was a battle sphere. And it enhances my destructive magic and this weakens non-destructive magic. I don't know what that is supposed to mean, because to me, Gel's Gabot has been plenty destructive, but I don't know if the game will consider it to be a destructive magic spell. Um, oh, Kite Shield, finally. I was kind of expecting a branded buckler or something like that. Oh man, but there's also this branded Tower Shield. Pretty funny things altogether. Very interesting orc so far. Branded or like branded helmet may be interesting. Can you stab with a quarterstaff with a hood? Yes. Hood makes it so that every weapon stabs as good as a dagger would. And because the stabs increase the amount of damage that you deal based on the base damage of the weapon, stabs are absolutely nuclear. Like stabs are already nuclear with a dagger. Now imagine if you're stabbing with a weapon that actually deals damage. It's a pretty crazy item. Staff Plus, it allows the wearer to make particularly effective stabbing attacks against helpless or unaware enemies with any weapon. Yes. In fact, it may not be staff, like dagger stabs, but it is almost certainly short blade stabs. The hierarchy of stabs goes daggers, then the rest of the short blades, then long blades, then anything else. Um, I feel like unarmed combat should also get really good stabs, but it doesn't. Don't even need sharp edges to stab. Nope. It's all about catching an enemy unaware. It's a lot of knights. That's a lot of knights. And Gelsgabot is doing wonders versus them. I have to say that normally Orc would not be this easy, even with Gelsgabot, but it's just that this layout that we got is ideal for the purpose of killing Orcs with Gelsgabot. What did I get? Bowsphere. I don't think I am too interested in that. What a wonderful spell. I wonder at which point it's gonna start falling off. Because so far, it's got like my absolute seal of approval. I have never been so enthralled by a spell. Like, I had already cast it before, but it was only for a very brief period of time in the end game, so I don't really think that counts. This really counts as casting the spell. Getting it early and using it early and like having it do what it has been doing is casting the spell early, and it's been wonderful. Yeah, absolutely 10 out of 10. It is level 6, but it is only single school, so it's not that impossible to get it castable on most normal characters that are not, deep elves. Should be good for elf too. Yes. Jorgrun. Jorgrun is guarding a dagger. Jorgrun is heavily wounded. Meet Magnavolt. No, not Jaras. Meet Magnavolt. Haven't really used Magnavolt that much, but I mean, it's pretty good still. Pretty good. No complaints about Magnavolt either. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe worth carrying around levels of interesting. They didn't expect to be impaled by a glove. Sounds quite painful when you put it that way. Oh, that hat is interesting. We lose 1 armor class, but we gain 4 strength. And because we gain 4 strength, we can drop this to begin with. We also can replace the ring of strength that I'm using with something else. I go down to 3 strength. A little bit spooky. I think I'm just gonna walk around with cold resistance. We're not gonna be using slaying with this character. Sounds almost blasphemous to say, but we're not gonna be using slaying. Still waiting on more scrolls of identify. At this point, it's almost guaranteed that I'm carrying blinking. I have not identified it yet, but if I'm carrying blinking, the best that I have is 2 blinkings. So most likely it's gonna be 1 blinking only, and so like once again we see why reading identify on scrolls is probably for the best. Oh yes, we're destroying things pretty good with translocations and a little bit of conjurations as well. And I guess in time, Magnavolt Crystal Spear. Should I just learn Crystal Spear now? I have memorized too many spells. What would I forget? Momentum Strike, Sitting Ray, Prism. Yeah. Do I have amnesias? Okay. The answer is probably yes, but I don't know which one of those are amnesia. Still no identify. Erolcha. Erolcha has a 5% chance to make me close the game today, so let's make that lower. Yeah, now it's a 0% chance. That was pretty funny. That was amazing. Because what happened there? I moved myself out of the line of sight of Erolcha and dealt Erolcha damage. And then Erolcha entered my line of sight, and I did Erolcha damage, And well, I not only I did a Rolcha damage, I just straight up killed the Rolcha and got positioned back to where I kind of originally was. Yeah, what a funny spell. All right, pretty good. Zombie hands and Bog. All right, we keep getting really, really bombastic spells. Um, I'm gonna be using Bog almost certainly because I already have the skill to cast it in the first place. I need to go out of my way to get it castable or anything. Um, yeah, okay, we're using bulk. And we're using Crystal Spear as well, but that will take a while. Bulk mind. Okay, that spell is really funny. It probably Magnabolt is probably one of those spells that you want to spam. Maybe I should put it on the quiver. I picked up an ID scroll. I'm gonna use it immediately. Thank you for reminding me because I didn't quite notice. Okay, please identify blinking so I can read the rest. Haha, of course not. I mean, why would we identify blinking when we can identify enchant weapon and scroll of noise? I should maybe put Magnavolt on the quiver. Yeah, I think that we have gotten to the point where Magnavolt needs to be on the quiver. And yeah, okay, so I only have two unidentified scrolls. I guarantee you that if I read one of those, it's gonna be blinking. So I'm not gonna read them. Just gonna be patient and wait for more identify. Even though in this level we found three identifies. One more. Acquirement. Okay. Acquirement scrolls confirmed more common than blinking scrolls. Let me see this. I am not convinced. Hey, look at that. That's level 3. It used to be level 4. I'm almost certain this used to be level 4. When did it get turned into a level 3 spell? But the thing is that still doesn't address the main problem of this spell. Like, I don't think people didn't use it because it was level 4. I think that the reason why it went mostly unused and why it has to be buffed into being level 3 is because it doesn't hit next to you. Not hitting next to you is such a big deal. When Reaver released, it must have been the case. Yes, because I think Reaver starts with Hailstorm. Anyway, we don't want that book. Um, we might want the money or the regen amulet. By the way, talking about money, I should probably spend it buying those things. Acquire gold and check randarts in orc shops, or I check the randarts and hold the scroll until I am given a reason to, buy stuff or like get the money. Let's see what we get here. It's not bad. Also not great, and I don't think it's better than my willpower robe, but it's not bad. Like, it could be worth considering. I'm gonna buy the helmet. Those two helmets. Okay, not all random things that you buy from a shop can be winners. At least this is guaranteed to be good for me. Yes, now we have 18 armor class. 18 armor class Deep Elf. You love to see it. More armor class than your average ogre for the greatest part of the game. Though, if I was an ogre, I would be very happy with this shop because it also has gold scales on Hood of the Assassin. So I could do some sneaky giant spike glove stabbing to completely delete BB and other enemies. And that would be funny. But we're not doing that today. Use Ditox exploring into hitting range of a D-Trail Nose Sergeant with a +2 Trident of Venom. Yeah, that's rough. Do I think that, like, I mean, did you know of the enemy? Like, if you already knew of the enemy, then that's almost completely your fault. But if you didn't know of the enemy, Kroll does try to avoid instant deaths, but also the underpowered nature of the stars in Kroll and like the difficulty from disengaging um, in the early game makes it so that sometimes there is indeed situations where you just can't survive. There's no way for you to survive. That kind of thing happens most often in the early game when you don't have options, um, which is pretty lame. I don't like not having options. That's the worst part of this game by a mile when you don't have options. Okay, that's pretty funny. Ooh, wow, that's two profane servitors. No wonder the vault was enclosed um, by a ruined door. Did I see a kite shield of fire resistance? I would like specifically a kite shield of cold resistance. That would be the perfect item, I think. And I think that there's a very real chance that we do get it, since we are going to be going to Snake. Snake often generates branded shields like that, so come on, kite shield of cold resistance. Okay, remember this Tuak scroll because that's the next one that I would like to identify. To see if that one is blinking. And maybe I was just holding on to reading my scrolls for no reason. Agnes dies, which is good because I ran out of mana. Because I was spamming Magnavolt too much. I'm having a little bit too much fun with Magnavolt. Buckler of Ice resistance is every ice cave reward you don't pick up. Ah, this time I would pick it up. Magnavolt takes a couple of turns to get going, but when it gets going, it gets going. It does crazy damage, but you need to have large amounts of mana to actually make use of it. Level 15, we just get intelligence, and I was thinking that I'm spamming a nurse spell. Maybe I should be wielding this staff of her. But the thing about that is that it completely removes my fire resistance, but I guess that I can probably get away with doing that for now. Um, in Snake, however, that's when I cannot do that anymore. Um, does Magnavolt make a lot of noise? A bit loud. You would expect that to be much louder since kinda just lightning bolt, isn't it? So see, this spell, I don't find it as fun as Gel's Gabot, but I do appreciate its quiverability. I guess we can put it like that. What do I mean by quiverability? You know, how easy to use, how comfortable it is to use when you put it on the quiver. Like, sure, it is supremely mana hungry, but it kills things pretty good when you put it on the quiver without really having to do much other than just press the quiver button. And that is exactly what I was looking for. We're not going fire, so I'm gonna pass on Starburst, even though I do like Starburst a good amount. Not to mention that we just got it. We also just got Plasma Beam. Plasma Beam is fire. Mm, mm, Nah, I'm gonna pass on it. I think we can afford not to go fire for once. Hey, Buckler of Reflection. We are probably going to be using this immediately because I'm not using an orb or anything. We can probably drop this. We can probably drop this, I would like to believe. I would like to believe that we can drop this. Impossible to find Starburst without finding Plasma Beam. Do they all come in the same book all of the time? You may be wondering why I didn't buy that Randart Tower Shield. The thing is that I am leagues away from being able to use it. Like, it's probably not gonna happen with only 8 strength, and that 8 strength is being buffed. Base strength that I have is way lower than 8, so it's most likely impossible for me to make use of that. You don't know, but it seems really common. Really common. I mean, if it's really common, that's a good thing because it is a pretty great spell. Let me see if I can get a good Gels Gavot here. Now let's see if I can get a good Magna Bolt here. Pretty good. What's the damage type of Magna Bolt? Is it only electricity? Book of Fire is the fixed book that has both of them. Emperor Scorp. Salamander. Didn't kill the Salamander. I mean, I guess. That was the first time in the whole game that I used an Evocable. Triple crossbows we are not going to use, but I'm gonna get the net. No, why can't I cast it? What do you mean you don't see a valid target there? Let me cast it. There's an invisible enemy that is going to get hit by it. Lame. But I can cast Gale's Gabot? Questionable. Alright, that was the 15. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. The character is looking quite powerful. I would like to believe that the stack of unidentified scrolls that I have 3 of is my stack of blinkings, but I am not putting it past the game that while I'm having great fun, it is secretly cackling in the background because it's given me only one blinking that I do not know of. And now it's time for me to go to the mid game. Now it's time for the crawl mid game experience, which could be disastrous. Hopefully it won't be. Let's see, we got Snake and Swamp. We're gonna go Snake. See if we can find that Buckler of Cold Resistance. Or Kite Shield of Cold Resistance. Okay, immediately get marked. It's a lot of Black Mambas. You've recently had a game where the first blink scroll you found was in Crypt 3. Yeah, it's quite painful when that kind of thing happens. Um, ouch. That was a lot of damage that we took there. Do I have poison resistance? I do now. Okay, idea. We acquire the money and we buy the manual of Evo. Why manual of Evo? Because that is the cleanest way to finish a fight if I run out of mana. Um, Not only will my mana regen make it so that while I'm killing things with once, I'm gonna get mana back. I will also get mana back from Behemoth when I kill things with Evo. So it should be like you can think of it like a mana potion, reusable mana potion that I can train for. It because it kind of will be like that. It will fulfill the same um, function as a mana potion. So yeah, let's go back to the snake pit. You know, of all the spots in this level that I could have been marked on, marked very close to the stairs is actually fine. Nothing to be sad about here. That was my first miscast of anything in the game. Very late into the game, we get a miscast of Magnabolt, which is at 2%. So you know that's not bad at all. I am quite satisfied by that. I wonder if Magnabolt is destructive magic. It is, right? Because it was offered to me by Behemoth, I think. Wiglaf. Well, I'm not afraid of Wiglaf. If Wiglaf decides to do anything funny, I have Jaras, which I haven't really felt like using that much, but we can Jaras now. We don't have the mana to cast another Magnabolt, where I feel another Magnabolt would have gotten the job done. And wow, okay, I go for Magnabolt. Wiglaf is almost dead. We have acids. You know, Wiglaf's hat is pretty cool. It's cold resistance, which we definitely want, and 3 strength. It's probably better than the one that I have, right? No. Oh, we have 3 strength. I might be able to do it. Hold on. Hold on, I can do it. That's gonna leave me with 2 strength? Yeah, but it does become possible. Alright, fortunately we're in Snake and not in Spider. That means no Ghost Moth that could just randomly make my strength 0. I would like maybe regen, but ideally mana regen. Here's your new hat. Manual of Summonings, I don't think we care. We don't care about that. We don't care about this. Nope. Nope. Wait, let us is level 4. Yeah, still no. I could cast it just fine, but still no. You get permafrost. Maybe, maybe. Okay, how do I kill orbs of fire? Because permafrost is really good at killing orbs of fire. I don't. Oh, I do have a way to kill orbs of fire. Crystal Spear plus Magnavolt, not in that order, is how I am going to be killing orbs of fire. Yeah, okay, we're fine. That ring was so close to greatness. The Randart, of course. No mana regen amulet. Manual of fighting. That's expensive, but well worth the money if we find another requirement. Pulsum Fusilate. Ooh, I want to use that. I want to use that. I'm gonna put it on the wish list. Is Spellforce Servitor still in the game? Yes, it is. Okay. The Tuak scroll. Where did I find that? I found it not so long ago. It must have been like late dungeon, right? Okay. So yeah, indeed, I was running through the game with zero blinking, and now I have finally found my first blinking in the game in Snake One. Mm, mm. On top of that, we also found Ignite Poison, but it's a bit too late now. It might still be usable, um, but I want Amnesia. Okay, I have Amnesia. What are we going to forget with Amnesia? Prism. Prism is the first thing to forget. If it was free, I would also forget Searing Ray, Magic Dart, Momentum Strike. But it's not free, so we're not gonna be forgetting those. You saw Nine Settler on Akrasiak, you were surprised? Yes. I do stream this game every now and then, whenever I feel like doing so. Yeah, I'm retreating towards the stairs because I don't want to run into those awkward situations where I'm just out of mana in the middle of nowhere. Besides, retreating when you're only running away from one thing is a lot safer. And since I have mana regen, it just regens my mana pretty good while I walk away for a bit. Man, the mana regen on the depots makes them a lot better. Significantly better. Are casters good again? Yes, because there's a lot of new high impact spells that have been added to the game in the last version, I think it was. And since I pretty much skipped the entirety of the last version, I have been playing a little bit with them, and I have been enjoying them a lot. Like pretty much all of them are super good. Like for example, there's this Gel's Gavot spell, which you cast it and you point at a direction next to you, and you can see that some directions highlight the monster for it to take damage, some don't. The monster and you will be pushed, or like the monster, all monsters in the screen, and you will be pushed a short distance into that direction. If you hit a wall, it doesn't happen, like nothing bad happens, but if a monster hits a wall, the monster takes some pretty hefty amounts of damage. Um, Briefly reorients local gravity to be in a cardinal direction of the caster's choosing, causing all creatures inside to tumble a short distance in that direction. It does a lot of damage. It's really, really, really good. I like it a lot. And since it affects everything on the screen. It's so fun to use. I was having such a good time with that in Lure. I'm still having a good time with it. It's just that Magnabolt is a lot more spammable off the quiver. But there's some situations where Gauss Gabot is definitely more mana efficient. Seriously, that didn't kill them? That's crazy. I mean, okay. Is Magnavolt a better Chain Lightning? Not really. What does Magnavolt do? Envelops a target in a thin layer of magnetically charged metal fragment, then unleashes a powerful surge of electricity that arcs unerringly towards every visible target coated in these fragments. Finding an additional beam at each target, thus marked. Magnetized creatures are additionally unable to evade attacks and will be revealed if invisible. If they die while still coated, they will leave behind a short-lived cloud of electrified metal that will continue to serve as a lightning rod for this spell. So when you first cast it, it's single target, and then it hits two things, and then it hits three things, and then etc. etc. So it's very mana hungry, but it is very powerful. Um, Also, the effect of monsters affected by it not being able to dodge is huge for the purposes of crystal spearing things, which we are going to be doing in time. We have the spell already. We got the two spells already. Like, we got them very early in the game, so I just decided to go for it. Should buy an Amulet of Regen. But what I really want is mana regen. So I think I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm just gonna wait for mana regen. Goodbye, Azrael. I probably could have killed Azrael with Gauss Gavot as well. Um, just to slam Azrael into the wall. Oh, Shock Serpents are immune to electricity, so no Magna Bolting it. But it is not immune to gravity. um, how funny. Man, it's so funny. What a great spell. Really, what a great spell. What a slam dunk of spell design. Um, I love it. I love it. It makes me so happy that there's something in this game that was recently introduced that I can enjoy to the degree that I have been enjoying Gauss Gavot. The other new spells are cool as well. Like they're strong, and that's really cool because that was some of my greatest grievances with mages, that they just didn't have spells that were strong enough for later in the game. Now they do. I mean, no matter what school you're on, now they do, and that's pretty neat. But none of the spells were as fun as Gil's Gabot has been for me. None of the new spells that I have tried. Don't I have? Oh, I guess I have not learned it yet because I do have it. I have Bog, and I was thinking Bog would be a good thing to have right now. Um, Right, that was 15 evocations. Now I think we may want to train 13 alchemy for Bog. I don't really need 13 alchemy. Can probably get away with 11. Just off my spellcasting and intelligence stat. Granny Wiglaf's hat hot. Oh, I just killed Wiglaf earlier. Granny Wiglaf's spellbook of secret sauce. Hellfire Mortar. Those are some okay hats. Not great. I wish the 7 dexterity hat was a 7 intelligence or 7 strength hat, and then it would be a very exciting hat. It might still be worth considering. But like a 7 dexterity is okay, but it is definitely the stat that I'm least excited for because I'm not really using dexterity a lot. If you want to spam Magnavolt, I think the best way to do it is to drink a potion of brilliance beforehand. because it does kill everything, but as you can see, it runs out of mana, or you run out of mana, makes you run out of mana before you kill everything. If you don't see everything from the very beginning. Okay, +1 cloak or skull for repulsion. The choice is simple, especially when we are about to go into elf or bolts, which definitely we are going to do. We can drop those. I'm not really going to be enchanting any weapons today. Another ring of protection. I have found like 6 already. What is going on? Wait, I dropped my cold resistance. I don't want to drop that one. That one is kind of important. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings of protection that we have found in this game, one of which is in a shop. Octopods would be very happy to be playing these seeds. That is, of course, assuming that they survive to the point where they can get the 5 rings of protection. Yeah, that's a lot of armor class for an Octopod. More than I have, actually. And yep, Magnavolt is too addictive. Like, you cast it and you cannot stop casting it because it often just kills things pretty good. But then you run out of mana and you pay the price for the convenience of using Magnavolt. That's 11 alchemy. I think that I'm gonna cast, I'm just gonna stop training Earth, only Earth, and we're gonna get Earth to 18, and then we're gonna start training Conch so I can get Crystal Spear. And 0.16 Dragon Skull get all 15 runes. Is Dragon Skull even a thing in 0.16? Doesn't that version still have Summon Dragon? I don't remember. Um, I don't remember when Summon Dragon was removed. But yeah, regardless, if it's a version with Summon Dragon, you have to build around Summon Dragon. And by that I mean be a Lich form worshipper of Sif Muna so you can get infinite mana. But if you can't do that, it definitely can do whatever you want it to do. Because infinite dragons are kinda really strong. On the other hand, if it's a version where Dragon Skull is already a thing, I don't know. I don't have any experience doing 15 runes Dragon Skull. I have, like, of all the level 9 spells, I think that one may be the one that I've used the least because of, well, you know why, because it's a summon. I very rarely use summons. I like being able to mash the quiver and have things die and progress the game state instead of hiding behind a bunch of summons or awkwardly skilling so that I can cast some summon spells, but also be able to tap myself. And a wide variety of hats. It's an octopod seed, absolutely an octopod seed. Punishment by cat summoner. Oh, never. Oh, don't say those horrible things. Cat summoner. Jeez. It's crazy because people like it. Why do people like it? Jeez. I mean, it's not that I don't understand like doing difficult things and deriving enjoyment out of doing those things, but the thing about Crow is that it's painful in this game. It's not like satisfying or anything. It's more like, oh, finally it's over and I'm free kind of thing. And in other games, like let's put Dark Souls as an example, which is probably one of the easiest games that you're not gonna be able to beat unless you put in the work to actually learn it and be able to beat it. So you can practice and learn the game, and then you can beat the game like that. In that game, doing something hard or difficult, like a challenge, is is probably enjoyable because you actually have some agency over what you're doing. But when it comes to crawl, it's just so much RNG. Um, Cat Summoner might be one of the best cat stars. Yeah, I'm talking more about cat as a whole, other than just Cat Summoner. Specifically, Cat Summoner I have issues with because it is I don't think it is quite fun to play cat or summoner standalone. But when you combine them, it just is entirely unfun for me. You don't get items. You are very squishy. Now you cannot even run away from things. Um, and your main way of killing things is being a summoner. So you just spam allies and hope that the allies kill whatever is threatening you, or spend a lot of annoying time micromanaging them so they actually do that. Yeah, I wouldn't play that. I was thinking of going Elf, but I think that we are better off going to Bolts right now. I could also do Swamp. I'll try Swamp if this gets scary, but it shouldn't really. I'm pretty strong, and I also have Repel Missiles, which is gonna come up. Okay, I think I can probably walk around without the immunity to fire or near immunity to fire, and I can put on resistance to electricity, so I don't get thunder hooked. We get a Sphinx, and the Sphinx has an 11% chance to kill me, which it doesn't do. We get Arc Jolt. We get Arc Jolts, but I don't think I'm going to pick up Arc Jolt. Not a bad spell by any means, but I don't think we are going to pick it up. Um, yeah, we still don't have that much amnesia. Oh, another blinking. That's neat. That's blinking number 3. Very happy to be, able to get this far into the game without having to use blinking. Bolt 5 is probably too scary. Depends on whether or not I have Shatter. I almost never do it anyway. It's always too scary for me, Bolt 5. Six potions of heal wounds. I also made it this far without knowing what my heal wounds was. Yeah, this was an okay start. I thought that it was a shame that I lost the first character at the very beginning of the stream, but it turned out okay. Turned out okay. Like, surely not as blessed as the original character. The original character had the following on D1. It found one on D2, but it found one on D1. An orb of energy, a ring of wizardry, and an amulet of mana regen. I had everything to be like pretty much doing what I'm doing, but way better. Um, but I died on D3. That's the thing. I died on D3, so I never got the chance to properly enjoy that. And I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Sometimes that kind of thing happens. It's okay. On your last 2 runs that went far enough, you went bolts 5 for the third rune. You feared bolts 5 a lot, but it seems to be much more reasonable than you thought. That's how it gets you. Because I already went through that character arc. I've been there. You start to feel, you know what, Bolts 5 is not so bad, and then you go into Bolts 5 and it just destroys you. And then you're like, oh, okay, maybe Bolts 5 is a bit too much. And then you go in and it happens again, and then you really start learning the lesson that it is definitely not a level to play around on. And so much, in fact, that I just like try not to do it if I have the option not to. That's blinking number 4 that we just picked up. That's crazy. I wonder if we will be able to finish the game without using it or with using very little of it. My Bolt 1 was pretty easy. Bolts 2 Wislav. Mm, all third rune options are bad? I disagree. What are your third rune options, realistically? Slime, Bolts 5, and the Abyss. Those are the three that I always consider. From those, the one that I do the least by a lot is Bolts 5. Um, Slime, I often don't have that much issues, that much trouble with. Though I do prefer not to do slime if I don't have the tools to do it easily. And the Abyss is the one that I do the most, but I do it the most because I'm like, I don't feel like I can do slime or bolts 5. Um, and so I just go into the Abyss, and the Abyss can be really painful at times. Slime is brutal now. You keep dying to Abyss. I can't see how that happens. I don't know if Slime is brutal now. Like, what would you say makes it brutal? Because the only change that I remember in recent times, other than the bolts changing, like the final bolt changing, is the new Slime. Is it a noose? Void ooze. Yes, this thing. It's just a reflavor of the Quicksilver ooze, isn't it? But it's the same. No idea why it got reflavored. Maybe because it doesn't Quicksilver you? I guess that makes sense. Because it doesn't remove your buffs, it just renders you unable to cast spells, which is a little bit different. So Voidus is probably better. We have encountered a monster that is immune to electricity, and I don't think we have a good way to kill it. And that is a little bit of a problem. Yeah, we don't have LRD. Combination of acid blobs, rock slimes, blinking jellyfish, and those eye things that malmutate you and make you fragile. Understandable. But like most of those things have already been in the game for a very long time. Um, the fragile eye is a new thing, and I definitely prefer the fragile eye to the paralysis eye. Yeah, paralysis eye is just like, oh, you are dead now. Instead of that, fragile eye is like, oh, you're not even like slowed or anything, but you have to be careful here because you could die very soon. You better take care of that. Blinking jellyfish can be really nasty. Like if you get paralyzed by a blinking jellyfish, even if it only lasts one turn, that is enough to take a lot of damage. You lost a couple of completely OP characters to Corrode 20. Yeah, that definitely can happen. The thing is not letting it happen in the first place. I think that cancellation gets rid of corrosion. Not entirely sure. Have you ever thought why some dragons other than the early game ones not have trample? Shadow dragons don't have trample? It's funny because the tile does make it look pretty bulky. Maybe the tile should be reworked because, like, if you tell me a dragon that doesn't have trample, I imagine like an Eastern dragon, very thin and lengthy kind of dragon. Whereas a dragon with trample, I imagine more as a European dragon, very robust and huge and not very long. So like if you ask me about a dragon that has trample, yeah, the European ones and the Eastern ones are the ones that I imagine not having trample. So yeah, maybe there could be tile reworks. Those punks just spam negative energy anyway. Yeah, they're more dragon mages than anything. Ah, yeah, the Wislab. I was thinking of leaving because of these things, but we need to take care of that Wislab right now. I really want to learn Orb of Destruction, so I guess that I just use one of my 3 Amnesias, and we forget about a level 4 or higher. Mystic Blast, no. Jaras, maybe. Toxic Radiance, maybe. We can forget about Toxic Radiance. It's fine. I have it, right? Like, I can always relearn it later, or like maybe Elf. But for now, we need Crystal Spear, because otherwise, I don't know how in the world I'm killing that, but with Crystal Spear, we're killing it super easily. Okay, and now that I have learned Crystal Spear with the express purpose of killing it, it's gone now. It says magic portal nearby. I'm just gonna explore manually, try to find it. Try to save a magic mapping. Sweet. Sweet, but very pricey. Okay, now it's very distant. So I'm very clearly going in the opposite direction. Distant. Where is it? You know what? There's some magic mapping on the floor. That was very hard to spot. I would have had a very hard time spotting it. Anyway, this is one of my favorite bolts in the whole game. In console, the water shimmers. In tiles, only the portal shimmers. The purple crystal doesn't shimmer, which is pretty lame. Um, in console, the crystal is purple. Yes, in fact, back in the day, it used to always be called green crystal. Some other dragons don't have trample too, Quicksilver and Pearl. Who made this bolt? I have no idea. But I appreciate it because it is one of my favorite bolts in the game because of the purple water. Alistair's Party Mansion, the frat house. I like that the first thing you see is a confused occultist. You like the pool with the mermaids. Yeah, I was just thinking while I was fighting them, why are there merfolk here? Why are there merfolk here? But I mean, I did just say it was a frat house, and it makes lots of sense if you think about it like that. Cannot wait until Crystal Spear stops prompting me with the, hey, that's really dangerous. Are you sure you want to be casting Crystal Spear? 9% chance to vanish. Those clouds of Degen could be scary. Do I have a port? Because I guess not. Hey, I have permafrost. I want to learn that. I want to learn that real good. Also, I can cast it already with like no ice magic training. Probably could use a little bit of ice magic for spell power purposes, but I really want to learn that. I really want to learn that. We have to make a lot of room for it. I don't want to forget Mystic Blast. I'm feeling like I forget Jaras. Like people swear for Jaras, but I had it for a while, and there was one moment where I used it, and I felt like it was better to use something else after I used it. Um, what was that moment? When I was fighting Wiglaf, and Wiglaf used Might, and I just Jaras instead of using Magnavolt. I feel like if I had used Magnavolt, I would have killed Wiglaf, no problem. Nothing there is particularly interesting. You use it more to insta-gift summons. That is definitely a good use. Just to kite shield, I'm gonna pick it up. We have 10 shields after finishing the training of the manual. I wonder how much that hinders my spellcasting, like wearing this kite shield. Crystal Spear becomes kind of uncastable. That is the main problem. Radiate, Fulsome, Fusilate. Okay, so we don't need to buy the book anymore. Yeah, we're not using Tower Shield of Ignorance. A port, ask and you shall be given. I'm going to get a port. The money would just get me the manual of fighting immediately, but I am so close to the manual of fighting anyway, and I don't have a port, and I want a port, so I'm just gonna acquire a port. I just leveled up, so I cannot rely on a level up to give me a spell slot. Okay, I'll train 16 spellcasting real quick. Are we done with this place? I feel like there's some that I have yet to explore over here. How is that guy not dead? What was I even fighting? Oh, an amulet. Guardian Spirit. Throw that trash on the floor where it belongs. I mean, I'm a depot. Yeah. I don't think that there's anything interesting in those rooms. I think I can just skip them. Yeah, I'm almost certain that there's nothing. Alright. We got an acquirement that got me a port, and I wanted to apport the money, but I couldn't learn the spell in time. But as soon as I get a spell level, I'll get it. You wish disabling auto pickup for a specific item was a bit more convenient. You don't like this screen? I wish it didn't. Like you didn't have to go to that screen. So in that sense, I agree. Because it interrupts the flow of the game a little bit, but it's not terrible. Robo resistance, also 16 spellcasting. That was fast. Now we have a port. Special key to drop an item and disable its auto pickup. When you're dropping, you can also press this. You can press a button. What is the button? Ah, yes. You press asterisk. You can drop and turn off auto pickup for. Is it asterisk or? No, no, it's not asterisk. It is the same button that pulls up this screen. It's like a model thing to drop stuff. I feel really powerful, um, which is definitely a feeling that I haven't had with Crowley in a while. Man, Ghost Got Bot is incredible. I am enjoying it profoundly because it's like, oh, you are in a fight with a band of bolt guards and stuff. Well, you just push them into a wall, all of them at the same time, and then they die, and it's fantastic. And everyone has a good time. And Crystal Guardian, meet Crystal Spear. Sweet. 100% chance to hit. You love to see it. Backslash before selecting the item you want to drop, or the items that you want to drop. Guardian Spirit again, come on. Give me my mana regen. I'm waiting for an amulet of mana regen. I'm using an amulet of acrobat. I couldn't care less about that one. I want mana regen. Give me mana regen, game. Described in the drop help menu, but as an excuse you'll say it's hard to think you need to use the drop menu. The drop help menu. The drop help menu. Do you have like a drop help? What do you? Well, how do you? Oh no! If I press this button, like the question mark, it selects all the scrolls because the scrolls are question marks. Another scroll unidentified. We can probably get rid of these and these and oh, definitely these. Well, I have already identified blinking and acquirement, so I have no idea what this scroll could be. That's acquirement number 3. It's expensive. It's probably not gonna be worth it. Especially when we compare it to buying the blinkings and the manual of fighting. I'm gonna put it on the wish list, and I am going to buy the Blinkings. And an Identify as well. Okay, we get Summoning. Now you know what to press to not see the Guardian Spirit in your inventory for the rest of the run anyway. Barstorm, Shatter, and Clyde. I am interested in Shatter, perhaps. I am very much interested in Shatter. Yeah, it seems very possible that I get Shatter. Look at that, it's already at 28%. The joys of having 37 intelligence, 16 spellcasting, 18 earth magic, being a worshipper of Behemoth. Oh yeah, like we're gonna be casting Shatter. Well, I mean, I said that, and while I was saying that, I noticed that I was at 46 HP. Normally, my repulsion is enough to not be, completely butchered by such a fighting squad, but not this time. Um, Rough. Fortunately, I didn't die there. Oh, one of them had heavy. Maybe that's why I took so much damage. Oh, yeah. This for help. Those shortcuts are pretty useful. I use them a lot. Wait, does it not say the useless items? Oh. Note that for dropping, the comma command uses the drop filter option, which narrows the range of items to be deselected. The default is all useless items. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty useful. Shatter should be almost castable already with the Whizring, which I do have. The thing is that I don't have the spell slots. That is a real problem. So many spells, and I'm using all of them. Too. It's not like I have things that are taking up space in my inventory. Well, maybe Permafrost. Maybe Permafrost is that. Oh yeah, it doesn't deal that much damage today. Because I'm not training Ice Magic. And the spells that do take up space in my spell library, Magic Dart, Searing Ray, Momentum Strike, they're just too low level to forget about without infinite scrolls of Amnesia. You haven't used Bog once. Oh, that I know, but I will use it. I will not forget it because I will use it to get my third rune. Yeah, when I use it, you will be like, oh yeah, okay, so that's why Bog was not forgotten. I might want to also pick up Ignite Poison because it's pretty good. Bog with Ignite Poison is pretty good for slime. At least if Muna giving you cheaper amnesia is nice, it's hard to remember Blink. How do you remember Bog? There's some specific situations where like I will always cast Bog if I have it. Like for example, Slime, which is where I'm going to use it. Slime 5 with Bog is so good. That spell is fantastic for dealing with the slimes. None of them fly. All of them are especially hurt by Bog. Well, not really especially, but Bog deals so much damage that it kills them really fast. I'm almost certain that it also slows them down. Um, and Ignite Poison kills them all except for Rock Slimes, because Rock Slimes have fire resistance. You have Searing Rain? You cast that? Huh. Ice and Jellyfish fly. Oh, but they have like, well, Jellyfish don't have like no HP. But ice are very fragile. Yeah, these fly, they have 120. They're pretty fragile, even with the 120 HP, because no armor class, no evasion. And when it comes to the ice, well, let's say Shining Eye as a placeholder for all of the ice. It flies, but it also is very fragile in terms of its defenses. Most importantly, however, neither the jellyfishes nor the ice are generated by the royal jelly. The royal jelly just generates the slimes and boyduses, I guess. When did Arcanists get Searing Ray? Drunk thing? Must be a drunk thing. Um, Beautiful. I love casting a spell with the bare minimum mana to cast it, and end the turn with more mana than I had at the start of the turn. Oh, you know what? This is definitely the kind of moment for a potion of, um, brilliance. But the thing is that I don't know my potions because I have not found a lot of identify. I do think I have at least one in a shop, so I'm gonna go back and buy it if I have the opportunity to do so. This might be a good moment for Bog. Ouch. Oh, really? 78 damage, because that's the literally got hit by one thing? No, it was not one thing. It was two things. Sign ugly thing and then 78, well, not 78 damage crystallizing shot, but it did do more than the amount of damage that I am comfortable with. Mm, yeah, this is too delicate of a situation to random blink. It's a shame because um, Bog there was going to do a lot. This is still gonna do a lot. As you can see, the trolls are extremely poisoned. Things are extremely poisoned. Yeah, in general. I could die to this guy. Seeing raise repelled times 2. Yeah, I was also um, aware of Mystic Blast as an option, but I also felt that it was a really unsafe thing to do. I should amnesia permafrost. But if I amnesia permafrost, I still need 2 spell levels. I guess I level up spellcasting to 17. It's not like leveling up spellcasting is a bad thing or anything. I level it up really fast and it does give me mana, so nothing to really be sad about when it comes to leveling up spellcasting. It's just that most other species don't really want to get that much spellcasting because it's not as good for them as it is for Deepov, since their aptitude and also Deepov has more mana aptitude. They will have aptitudes. Deep Elf. Why is Mountain Dwarf before Deep Elf? I guess because it's dwarf, but weird. It seems to me like there should be Deep Elf should be between Goblin and Demigoth. Goblin, Deep Elf, Demigoth, if they're like in alphabetical order. Who cares? Anyway, Deep Elves get +2 mana, actually. Not +1, +2 mana. Highest extra mana in the whole game, tied with the Demigod. But since Demigod levels up really slowly, you don't really get to see the extent of their extra mana. Deep Elf levels up a little bit faster than Demigod, but it is quite noticeable. Um, because this guy's Deep Dwarf. Not quite. It is very different from Deep Dwarf. I sure want to not land in a nasty spot after this teleport. If I land in a nasty spot, that's gonna be very sad. Yeah, don't do that. All right, we're fine. Oh, Helmet of Intelligence. So if I put this on, I will lose 3 strength, and I would lose cold resistance. Both of those things are kind of important. I don't think I need the intelligence from the helmet that much just yet. Maybe at some point when I am set up when it comes to resistances, I'll be able to use that. Ah, Gabot, it's so good. Orb of Mayhem. Undead Hunter. Now it has Deathbane. Deathbane inflicts significantly more damage against the undead. It used to be Disruption brand. Legends say that long ago a Lich Lord created many such weapons to ensure the loyalty of his undead servants. Sadly, this mace might be the last one left. Well, this is a pretty good weapon to be the last one left. Unfortunately, we cannot really make use of it. But we're making use of many things that I wanted to use before, and I didn't really have the opportunity to until now. So I'm very happy about how this run has been going so far. I hope that you all have been enjoying it as much as I have. Gonna need some mana to kill that Crystal Guardian. Cannot cast Magna Bolt on the Crystal Guardian. Why can't I cast Magna Bolt on the Crystal Guardian? Crystal Spear. Oh, it's still guarantees to hit. Oh, it doesn't have evasion. Oh, sure. Why do they not have evasion? Have they never had evasion, or is that a recent thing? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be complaining. We take those. Okay, that's it for bolts. I'm not going to bolts 5. At least not yet. Maybe later. Staff of Earth is probably better than the Staff of Air. The thing is that the Staff of Earth does not give any resistances. Um, the Staff of Air, the Staff of Air doesn't give resistances. The Staff of Earth does give resistances. Um, the Staff of Air gives resistances, and the Staff of Earth doesn't. Sorry, man, I'm losing my concentration so hard. I probably have to stop now to avoid any Earth. Yeah, the Earth or the Air. Ah, terrible. But anyway, you know what I mean. Like the stuff that has resistances has an important resistance that I do not have. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that the character is doing pretty good. Maybe before ending, I can do swamp, which I don't think is gonna be that much of a problem considering how much we trashed bolts. The only situation where we got in trouble was one where I got hit by a very, very unlucky hit that did more than half my HP in damage in a single turn. Other than that, I pretty much dominated the whole place. That reminded me that maybe I want fire resistance for this place. We're getting to the late game, and because we are getting to the late game, we're starting to wonder about um, the availability of certain resistances for this character. Because I would like to not explode, and not having any resistances or not having any of the certain resistances is a pretty good way to explode. In this case, I don't have resistance to electricity. If I don't like, I can choose between 3 pips of fire resistance or resistance to electricity, and that's pretty bad. And I don't want to be in that position. So I would love to find a resistance to electricity item. We're probably gonna have to go to Elf to see what we got there. You would probably use Earth and keep Air for swapping. That is probably the way that should be done. But the thing is that I am going to forget. I know I'm going to forget to swap and it's gonna kill me. Because that's just, you know, you gotta be aware of certain habits that you have and either fix them or like play around them if you cannot fix them. And I've played so much, I don't feel like it's gonna be fixed for me. So I just play around the reality that I'm gonna forget to swap things in. In general, the whole juggling of inventory thing is something that I struggle a lot with. I don't like doing it, and I don't remember to do it very often. Um, so I never really take the possibility of juggling rings specifically into consideration. When it comes to juggling weapons and stuff, I find that a lot more palatable because it's a lot easier for me to do with the W key being what it is instead of having to press capital P to change things around. It's a weird thing, but I think that's the best way for me to describe why I don't like to juggle rings around where I'm okay with juggling weapons around. Mm, I could forget Maxwell's portal pile driver. Weapons are the third ring. Yes, for certain characters they definitely are. Of all the new spells that I've tried, I think Magnabolt is by a mile the most quiverable. But that may be because I'm using it as a deep elf. Maybe if I was a different species, I would be running out of mana way too fast for this to be as good as it has been so far. Yeah, you gotta take advantage of the strengths of the species. Deep Elf of Behemoth. Now we're running out of mana. That was a plus 11 Bamp of Glaive of Bamp. Absolutely bonkers item. If you know, I was using two-handed pole arms. Certainly not the kind of item that two-strength character should be using. Another situation where Bog is great. Yeah, you saw those alligators? They died before they could touch me. Bog is just bonkers. It does so much damage. Ring of Intelligence. Mm, nah, I'd rather keep the poison resistance. You know how it is. Better to not have to juggle rings around. More fighting. When I set the stop, I didn't know that I was gonna have a manual. It looks like the bolt, but it is. It also is large enough that I know it's not one of those bolts where it's just full of hydras and swamp dragons, and so I don't really feel particularly incentivized to be stealthy around it or to try to rush it. So I do the entirety of the fight more easily. Funnily enough, with almost all of my characters, I would prefer to fight all of the hydras and swamp dragons at the same time. Because it's so much easier to do. You just read immolation and kill a couple, and then they all blow up. On the other hand, if they start to disperse through the level, that's when things get a bit more complicated. No. Okay, it was a good stream. See you around. Have a nice rest of your night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow so we can finish that. I'm not doing that right now. Not with the amount of lack of concentration that I can feel. Yes, we're done. I'm not continuing. Okay, it's not like I'm quitting the character or anything, but I cannot finish that tonight. So yeah, thank you for everything. See you around. Have a nice rest of your night. Thank you for the continued support. Do not forget to contribute towards my monthly goal if you can afford to do so, or subscribe, that kind of thing. It definitely helps. I could really use it. Yeah, thank you for everything. See you around.